What the hell? Well, I went and did it. Usually, the building that I live in, during the winter time, well, yeah, I'm gonna say usually, they don't like to give heat, even though they're supposed to. And night before last, they started giving heat. So they're giving heat, and I sleep by the radiator, right? My bed is like right by the radiator. So of course I'm like, oh, this is cool, this is awesome, and I have the windows closed, so that way none of the cold air can really get in or anything like that. And I decide to, because it's kind of warm in the house, and I took my shirt off and I went to bed. Now remember, I said that I sleep right by the radiator. My bed is right by the radiator. Um, Woke up today feeling weird, like feeling a burning sensation on my back. Apparently, my back touched the radiator and was on the radiator while I was asleep. And I had a bad burn on my back. So one of my relatives popped a blister that I had gotten, which was the size of a quarter. It was about that wide, and it came off of my skin. It was about that tall, that thick off the skin. Um, yeah, so I decided to have them pop the blister for me, which I shouldn't have, because people told me that I shouldn't, do it. But there was no way I could have slept comfortably. I lay down on my back when I sleep. I lay down on my back, or I'll lean, but I'm usually on my back like this. And when I went to when they said that the burn looked really bad, I went and looked in the living room mirror, and I was shirtless at the time. And I turned sideways and I go like this. And when I went like this, that's when I saw the bubble just popping off of my back. So, ugh. So I had to have them pop that, because I wasn't going to stay with a bubble on my back. But unfortunately, popping it, um, found out that because I spoke to a friend who's a nurse, and uh, yeah, pretty much, I got a second-degree burn on my back, from what they told me, from what it sounded like. This is part hairiness, but you'll see it. See that? See that? That's why it pays to pay attention when you sleep, or try to pay attention. Because this is no joke. Painful. Oh, goodness. So what's going on? What's going on? Alright. I'm kind of glad that we don't have any more of those, like, weird, crazy scandals that are going on. I mean, besides the whole government shutdown thing, which started over the weekend. It's kind of ridiculous that we have that going on, though. Because blame can be put on both sides of this argument. Truth be told, you have 800,000 dreamers and 9 million children. And 9 million children in which their health care can be insured, protected, renewed, and everything. Republicans are saying, no, we don't want to renew it. We don't want to renew it. Well, no, we want to renew it. We want to renew it. We want to renew it now. But last year they had an opportunity to do that, and they chose not to. However, Democrats are also to blame because they had a chance to keep the government going, to keep the government moving on, apparently, because they won't budge because they want to protect the 800,000 dreamers, which is a good cause. It's a good cause. I mean, both sides are good causes if you think about it, but the thing is that the way people are looking at it, they're looking at it as, the way people on the Republican side are looking at it is that if the health care reform thing gets approved, then once the midterms come in, once the midterms? Yeah, it's about the midterms. Once the 2018 elections come through, that Republicans will have more going for them going into that one, which would ensure that Republicans keep control of the House and the Senate and all that. But for me, that doesn't really matter because it's just like, even if they were to get the healthcare reform, the fact that they chose not to do the healthcare reform, not to renew the chip program last year, just so they can hold it over the Democrats' heads, that doesn't necessarily make them better. Because at the same time, while the Democrats are holding the 800,000 dreamers and trying to, help them out, they're helping them out for their own personal cause as well. You see, this is why I'm real funny about the two-party system. Sorry, I'm still kind of waking up. I haven't had my cup of coffee yet. This is water, as you can tell. I'm actually in the middle of making breakfast, as you can tell. Got some spam in here too. But see, I don't like to talk politics normally because it's real tricky when you're talking about politics.
when you're talking about politics, you're talking about policy, you're talking about parties, you're talking about all types of things, laws, amendments. You're talking about all types of stuff. And truth be told, you know, we live in a day and age where our politicians are more for whoever their donors are than they are for the people that vote for them. We do live in that day and age. And I know I said I don't like to talk politics, but the truth has to be said. The truth is that unless you're donating money, I mean donating big money, like millions, not even thousands, millions, to these politicians, you ain't gonna get what you want. For example, Donald Trump. A lot of people are like, oh, he brought business back to America, he brought jobs back to America, the GDP is high, the stock market is high, not even acknowledging the fact that the fiscal year in which all this happened up until October was still under Obama's watch. So all that good stuff that happened for the majority of 2017 happened while under Obama's watch, under the fiscal year that was signed under Barack Obama in October of 2016. Once October of 2017 came around, that's when the fiscal year under Donald Trump started, and he's riding a wave that happened because of Barack Obama, not because of him. Now, I've had this discussion with people, with friends who are Trump supporters, and their main thing is, oh yeah, but that's because, you know, American businesses are now trusting of the market again, and this, that, and the third. And I'm like, it has nothing to do with them being trusting of the market. The market's always been, or could have always been good if they would have focused on that. The problem is that they didn't have someone who was offering them sweetheart deals. That's why they didn't invest, because no one was offering them sweetheart deals, which is surprising, because a lot of these businesses like to pay off politicians. So that should tell you something. If they're not paying off politicians, then that means they don't trust the politicians enough for them to get the sweetheart deals that they want. This is cilantro. So that goes to show you exactly where we're at as far as political standing when it comes to our government. This is why I don't deal with politics, even though I should. But I let everyone else talk about politics because what the hell do I know, right? I obviously don't know what the hell I'm talking about. But you know what? I'm not going to worry about politics. I'm going to worry about my eggs. They're going to come out delicious. So, yeah. Politics. Who knows politics better than a pro wrestler?
With the poor people going on, and we do not waste water. We don't waste water because the people in this area. I love how I act like black people, but I love how I act like I love black people because I fucking hate niggers. So that's really interesting. I fucking hate niggers, but I just saved the fucking niggers by shutting that water off. So jump on it, jump on this, jump on this, jump on this, jump on. That's like I'm gonna probably jump on your van with my fucking woo. In Syria, with the poor people going on, and we do not waste water.
Wow. Yeah. This is ridiculous. So, apparently, some girl got caught online posting up videos saying that she hates black folks. She hates the N-word. And
Yeah, that's not the only video that she posted. That's not the only video that she posted, apparently. Sorry, I'm just replying to one of my bros. But yeah, apparently that's not the only video that she posted. She posted up another video, and this chick is from the University of Alabama, and she's a student of the University of Alabama, but she's actually from New Jersey, so she's right over the bridge. And it's pretty sad that we live in a day and age where people are still so damned ignorant and so damned prejudiced and bigoted, you know? Like, it's disgusting. It's disgusting. It is seriously disgusting. And I'm ashamed as a human being. Sorry about that. I'm still in the midst of, looking this over. But I'm ashamed as a person, as a human being. I'm very ashamed.
I wanted to be an alpha since I was fucking in high school, and nobody fucking understands how much I love Alpha C. And now someone wants to say my Finta because I said nigger. You know what? Nigger. I don't care if it's Martin Luther King Day. Nigger. I'm in the South now, bitch. So everyone can fuck off. I'm from New Jersey. So I can say nigger as much as I want. Nigger. And if anyone else wants to fucking snake me on my fucking Finsta for saying nigger, I'm in a fur vest. I want you to buy my fucking fur vest. Cause fuck you. Go to Neiman Marcus and buy my fucking fur vest. Cause fuck you. If you fucking snake me to my fucking sorority, that means fucking everything to me. Because fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. I will let you take a...
Disgusting. Truly disgusting. But not surprising. Ah, yes. True security. True security. Alright, so it's time to see exactly how well the burn is doing. I know you guys saw it earlier, but let's take a look. Alright. There it is. See if I can close up on it. There we go. Oh, can't zoom in around. Yeah, it still looks bad. I swear, having a cold sucks. It really does. Yeah. No. It looks disgusting to you. Imagine how it feels to me. Ugh. Man. I can't believe that I'm actually going to be talking about this, but I might as well. Before I do, let me fix this. You guys are like all the way close. Alright, so man, I can't believe that the whole love dolls, or I should say sex dolls, thing has become a thing, because I find it absolutely hilarious. Okay, so sex dolls, the dolls that they have now, they're nothing new. They've been out for years, but more, I would say, within the last few years, they've gotten a lot better at being lifelike, and it's. I know it's kind of weird that I'm saying this. You're probably wondering how the hell I know this. I know a lot of people, and I know people that are into a lot of weird stuff. So, for this to be something big now, it's absolutely hilarious to me. Like, okay, um, a lot of guys have been going online, and they've been putting memes up about how men are automatically going to start saying, oh, well, or automatically going to start buying these love dolls, these sex dolls, the lifelike ones, and how women are going to be in trouble and all this other stuff. And really, it's just to get a rise out of women. At least that's what I get from it, is that it's really just to get a rise out of women. Because, truth be told, sex toys like that have been around for a really, really long time. Um, and if if you've if you've ever taken a look at, and I'll give you a good example of what I mean. If you've ever taken a look at Dramatic Dream Team, they're a comedy wrestling promotion based out of Japan. One of their competitors is super popular, super over with the crowd. And that character goes by the name of Yoshihiko. Yoshihiko, how that pertains to this discussion, is a blow up doll. A blow up doll who they dress up as different wrestlers. They've dressed Yoshihiko up as Undertaker. They've dressed Yoshihiko up as Hulk Hogan, as the Great Muta, as several different stars. So, the fact that they took a blow up doll, took the hair off of it, and then dressed it up however they wanted to. Like, if they were gonna do Hogan, they'd put like a yellow wig on it, or if they were gonna do Undertaker, they put like a brunette, black-haired wig on it, and then just dress it up as the character and let them wrestle, you know. And might I say, if you decide to watch Yoshihiko's matches, you're gonna either be mortified, or you're gonna find it absolutely hilarious, or you're probably gonna be sitting there like, what the hell? Who thought of this? For me, it's a little mix of everything with that. But getting back to the core conversation. All right, so women have been some women, not all women, but there are a lot of women that have actually been making complaints about guys talking about getting these sex dolls and stuff. And you know, I I have to talk about both sides of the argument, because first off, like I said, the whole thing came up as sort of a ruse, as a way to get a rise out of women, because a lot of guys, in this, especially in this day and age, it's a little bit trickier to talk to a woman for some guys. So what conversation or method do you have to approach something that's inanimate, that eventually will give you what would eventually happen in a relationship? If you formed a relationship with someone, you don't necessarily have to do talking or anything. You could just and do your business. And I think for the most part, that's one thing that really bothers women. But women can't really, well, some women, not all women, some women, but women can't really complain about the sex dolls thing for a couple of reasons. Number one, they are expensive. the cheapest one you're gonna find, and this is because I when you have online shopping services, you can sometimes search up adult content, and when you search up adult content, you will find certain things. I've found those sex dolls, the lifelike ones, and the cheapest one that I've seen was gone for like 1,500. The cheapest, it's gone for like 1,500. Now, if they just want specific parts like the toys, then they can go for whatever price range, a lot cheaper than that, obviously. But that's depending on whoever's buying it. But here's the thing, and this is why women shouldn't really have a problem with it. For years, a lot women throughout time, throughout the years, have always gone and said, "Oh, well, if I can't get any action from this guy or whatever, or I don't need this guy, this, that, and the third, for whatever reason, when it came down to the subject of sex, they always had a backup." And by a backup, I don't necessarily mean like a backup person. I mean sex toys, pocket rockets, you know, vibes, things like that. And when you know that this is something that a woman can easily just go down to any like adult sex shop or whatever and just buy for cheap, because they have expensive ones, high-end ones, and then they have cheap ones. Sorry, I'm battling a cold. When a woman can go and do that, is it really right, or even is it really fair for them to complain about men who talk about getting the sex doll, the lifelike sex doll? Like, is it really worth it? And let's take it a little step further. Now, a lot of guys joke about getting the sex doll, like I said earlier, to get a rise out of women. But the truth of the matter is, how many of them are actually joking? Because there's some people that have gone online and said guys aren't going to really buy the sex doll because you can't replace the real thing, and that is true. You can't replace the real thing, because at the end of the day, yeah, it's a hole, or it's got holes, and it's got, you know, you can do whatever, but you can't make a connection with it, even though there are some people that have made connections with with inanimate objects. But realistically, there are some guys who would probably go out there and buy them. I mean, for example, look at the sneaker industry. This is a segue into what I'm talking about. I'm using this as an example. Look at the sneaker industry. What are some of the most expensive sneakers out there? The big baller brands. What was it? Was one particular sneaker from the big baller brand. That pair of sneakers cost $500. Jordans, at cheapest, are almost $200. At cheapest, if you're a guy, at cheapest, are like almost $200. So you're willing to, and mind you, a lot of times you'll get these guys that won't just buy one pair. No, they're there buying 1, 2, 3, 4 pairs at $200 to $300 to $400 a pop. You're talking about guys that are spending almost $1,000 on sneakers. So if a guy is willing to spend $1,000 on sneakers for himself, never mind the fact if he has a family where he's buying sneakers for himself, his wife, and his kids, but just himself spending $1,000 on a pair of sneakers, well, not a pair, but on several pairs, what makes you think that a guy wouldn't go and just up and spring for a $2,000 thing? Realistically, it's bound to happen. But the thing you have to think about is this. It goes back to there's no connection you can make with that. And I think for a lot of guys, they might think that that's the safe thing, but inevitably, unless they really just don't want to make that connection and just want to get their jollies off, they're going to be missing out on a lot. And it's really not going to be worth it for any of them. So I think what I'm trying to say is, women, those who are actually complaining, dear ladies, because it sounds wrong that I just say women, ladies, please don't get stressed by it. It's just guys trying to get a rise out of you. They're doing it for laughs. They're just trying to bother you. It's not really that serious. Don't even concern yourself with it. It's just for laughs. But also take into consideration that if you're going to sit there and complain about it, but if you've ever said, hey, I don't need a man, I can just get something in hand, throw some batteries in it, you really can't complain, because essentially you're doing the same exact thing. I mean, you might not see it as such, but it is what it is. People are gonna do what they're gonna do with their own money. Let them do what they're going to do with their own money. Just worry about yourself. Anyway, guys, that's my thoughts on that particular situation. Enjoy the rest of the vlog.